Let's talk about the samurai. We were sold a fantasy known as honor. How many of you saw Samurai Jack and then started terrorizing your family with a solid pipe? Oh, that was just me? Well, I thought it was cool. You know, before I even got to know about anime. I mean, when I was like 6 or 7, I wanted to follow the code of the brave, the loyal, the dude who knows how to fold a 1,000-layer katana. I never felt manlier. But what if honor isn't that cool moral compass? What if it's just the worst logic puzzle ever written? Masaki Kobayashi's 1962 masterpiece Harakiri takes that beautiful romantic code and exposes it as pure, ruthless utilitarianism for the elite. The clan is being pestered by starving ronin, masterless samurai asking to commit suicide on their grounds hoping for charity. But feeding them is a cost, so what's the move to maximize the clan's utility? Extreme cruelty. They force one poor, desperate soul named Motome to commit seppuku with the dull bamboo blade. They don't care about what his life is like. They don't ask him why he needs the money, which we find out is for his family. This is not about honor anymore. It's a policy. They inflict maximum suffering on the few to create a terrifying deterrent, saving their treasury and maximizing the social stability of their name. It's a flawless, inhuman calculation. Honor is the safety of the ruling class, and it demands a tragic, excruciating payment. This brings us to Jin Sakai, the protagonist of one of my favorite games. When the Mongols arrive, Jin sees the code for what it is, a death wish.
The Mongol Empire is invading our home. They are brutal. Relentless. Unstoppable.
He decides honor must die so his people can live. He sacrifices everything to embrace the messy, dishonorable path. Whatever it takes to save lives over a clear, honorable death is his choice. The only way to win is to become what samurai fear the most. The one thing that doesn't abide by an immoral law. The one thing that doesn't abide to any law at all. The ghost. Jin's tactics align with utilitarianism, except instead of a class above him, it's actually used for himself. He was prioritizing the greatest good for the greatest number. He drops the sacred sword for the toxic dart, because mathematically it saves more lives. But was Jin actually utilitarian? Absolutely not. A true utilitarian is a machine. They remove emotion, but Jin was nothing but emotion. The ultimate test isn't Khotun Khan, it's the final duel he has with his uncle, Lord Shimura. Shimura, a man whose spine is made of the honor code, demands Jin to kill him. Jin's final crushing choice is to slime out his own uncle or spare him for the loss of honor. Either way, Jin fails the utilitarian samurai test because if he kills his uncle, he's crushed by grief and personal loss. If he spares him, he loses honor for the love of the man who took him in and raised him. Honestly, it's a simple choice to spare him, but against their broken code. Jin is too devoted to his home and too heartbroken by his choices to ever be a cold calculator. And that's the ultimate failure of utilitarianism. Regardless of the choice you make, he proves that utility is unpersonal, and he is far too human to achieve it. But while Jin found utility unsatisfying, Atsu said, "Get that shit out of here." The new Ghost, the Ghost of Yotei, shows us what happens when you reject utility as a whole. Atsu has no code, no liberation mission, just a list of 6 names. The Yōtei Six. They murdered her family. Her motivation is pure, unadulterated revenge. Atsu could infiltrate a camp and quietly save a dozen prisoners, but when she spots one of her targets, the fire of her personal vendetta consumes her. She abandons the many in pursuit of the one who can satisfy her rage. Both ghosts ultimately prove that the cold logic of rigid honor and utilitarian math is too unpersonal to satisfy the human spirit. Jin was too heartbroken to kill his uncle. Atsu is too consumed by trauma to save strangers. So how could one expect honor to remain? And that's the real question. What is the answer if revenge is so bad, but there's seemingly no other choice? Well, if Jin teaches us the limits of utility and Atsu teaches us why you might need some, then Vinland Saga's Thorfinn teaches us the absolute cost of both. How you can chase unbridled revenge, but also gain the ability to escape it. For a decade, Thorfinn was an empty suit of armor, only moving for the idea of killing Askeladd. The core problem with revenge is that it becomes a replacement for your soul. It is spiritual self-mutilation. Thorfinn didn't live, he was merely an empty vessel driven by hate. He was blind to his father's final wish for peace, and when his target was finally killed by another, Thorfinn's life purpose was violently ripped away. What was he left with? Nothing. Revenge is not a tool, it's a spiritual addiction that leaves you more broken than when you started. Atsu's rage is human and justifiable. Of course we'd want to burn the world for the ones we love, but the danger is what you become after the fire fades. The ghosts both teach us that the cold logic of honor and utility fail in the face of human emotion. They choose the messy, painful human path, but this is where Thorfinn provides the final, devastating lesson. That revenge is the most human impulse, but it must be experienced and rejected to truly understand peace. Revenge is an education written in blood. The true tragedy of the Ghost of Yotei is the chilling certainty of her fate. When the last name is crossed off her list and the last ghost has been laid to rest, what will be left of Atsu to choose a new life? The ghost sword can win a duel, but it guarantees that the one who wields it loses everything that makes them human. Let me know what you guys think. Is there ever an honorable revenge? Or is the only way to redemption through the painful calculus of the greater good? I mean, do all roads really lead to Thorfinn? Because I can't help but think about him when I see a story about revenge. And that wraps up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did not forget about y'all. I know it's been a while, but I've honestly, hopefully, as you could see, been trying to work on improving my video quality. Unfortunately, it led to me making a very short video, and something I'm gonna work on from now on is making it more chapter based, like some of my favorite YouTubers. I want to emulate that type of content. Just clearly I have a lot of learning and work to do, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video for what it is. I also want to expand on the type of content I've made and been making, because there was a point where anime has been my best niche, and I love the community. I love you guys that have been around because of it. I will not stop making videos on anime, but what I was doing is just making some pointless videos, honestly, because I tried to keep up with trends, and there's just more meaningful videos I could make, and like this was one of them to me, because I've really been enjoying Ghost of Yotei. I watched Harakiri like only a couple of weeks ago. I was dumb late to it, but it was so interesting to see and had such a interesting connection to that theme of honor and then revenge. And anytime I get to talk about Vinland, I will talk about Vinland. I've also been thinking about streaming. I don't know if you guys like that have been around would be down to check out something like that, because I'll be completely honest with you guys, like I usually try to be not a big fan of making TikToks, even though I do. Not a big fan of the idea of people sitting down and watching streams for a long time, but there's compromises I can do, right? Like with TikTok, I make videos where I still talk about the things I want to talk about, and I also don't have to make like brain rot stuff. I could try to educate people sometimes. In the sense, like streaming, I don't have to do it for 24 hours a day, you know, and I don't have to have people around for 24 hours a day. I could do it for a couple of hours. Lord knows I spend my time a lot worse scrolling for hours on end. So if I could do that, you know, it'd be cool to like interact with you guys as a community. I don't have a PC set up, so that's something I'd have to kind of work on if I do get into streaming. I have a laptop right now. I mean, I could make it work, I guess, but yeah, PC would be much easier. But that's pretty much it. Like, I know I joked about it, but genuinely, YouTube will always matter more than any other social media I do. So it might seem like I forgot about you guys in the 3 weeks that it took to make this video, but TikToks are just much easier to make. So anyone who sees that Also, I'll post some on here, not most of the videos, but I'll post some as a short and you'll see it. You don't have to watch it. Honestly, like if you could have noties on for the videos and not shorts, I don't know if that's possible, but I would rather that. You guys don't need to see the shorts. I just make TikToks and shorts because I want to grow as fast as possible, because that job market is rough. But yeah, that officially wraps it up. It's been a while since I did this outro, so almost forgot. I usually tell you guys about what I've been watching. Chainsaw Man movie I still haven't seen. I'm probably going tomorrow. I got this though from the movie theater because I went to see one battle after another. Amazing movie, honestly. I don't get the critique. I made a TikTok about it if you want to check it out, know how I feel. But Chainsaw Man I'm hearing amazing things about. I love Tatsuki, so I'll probably make a video on that when I do go see it. And Task is a really good show. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. I usually talk about shows and whatever stuff that I've been watching, so almost forgot to include this segment. But yes, go watch Task. I've been watching One Punch Man. I don't know why they put a hentai director involved. It's been a little iffy so far, but I haven't lost hope. Tertera, I know One Punch Man is like your thing, and you've been telling me about season 3 for years, and I hope it's not as disappointing as people are making out to seem. But I have some hope. I mean, it's still super early, so to judge it already would be insane. And that should cover just about everything I've been watching or plan to watch. Let me know if you have anything else. And I might see you in the next one.